Okay, so here's a really sort of fun thing that I've been experimenting with over the last couple days. Actually, this past weekend. Today is Monday, January 6th. So I decided to take a bunch of old essays that I'd written, and in the service of our tiny book publishing platform, rather than just like covering content that has to do with teaching people how to do something, or sort of question and answer content, stuff that I generally like recommend for tiny books for business building purposes. I just took all these essays and I dumped them into Vellum. Vellum is a fantastic piece of software for those of us who want to write lots of tiny books and create tiny products. It's great for printed books as well, things that you may want to sell on, obviously Amazon, but also Gumroad or Podia or WooCommerce or PayHip or, your own store, Etsy, etc. Right? So I took all these old like newsletter updates, notes, journal entries, doodles, deep thoughts that may not have escaped some of my drafts. And I just put them all together in a few hours and published them on Amazon via Vellum. Vellum makes it really easy to format everything, make it look nice, give it a very professional sort of look and feel, which is probably pretty important when you are, putting together like a more sort of eccentric style book like this one is here. And essentially, it converts it into an EPUB or a Kindle formatted book that's ready to upload. It also does the same for all the other formats and other sort of vendors that you would want to upload your book to as well. Included a printed version also, and it's just a joy to use. And I really recommend using a piece of software like Vellum for this sort of purpose. And the reason that I'm not doing that to make money. I don't really think this book is going to make, a lot of money, but it adds a different sort of, like authority or just adds some more gravitas, I hope, to what we're doing with respect to tiny books for business. Now there's a tiny book of essays on mindfulness and mental health and, traveling and that sort of thing that has a perceived value to people. So, the thing that I'm recommending people do with these sorts of books is if you're building a newsletter or you're helping your clients build a newsletter, which I know folks in our agency kind of audience are focused on this year, a book has a real and a perceived value, right? That amplifies the appearance of, authority that an author has when seeking subscribers, having a print book that you can send out to your Substack subscribers, for example, or whatever platform you're using, Beehive, etc., is a great way of incentivizing your audience to sign up for a paid subscription, right? And it's very, very easy to do using this sort of, software. Again, there are other tools out there as well. Readsy is good, but Vellum's in a class by itself. And I think the reviews, if you actually look up Vellum, you'll see that people who are serious writers are, using software like Vellum, or they're outsourcing, all of their editing, formatting, book creation process to some, person out there in the world who's using Vellum, right? So, again, for the purposes of marketing, we're just my focus is writing a lot of tiny books this year and helping folks in our audience write a lot of tiny books that actually help people get an end result, right? In business. This is not that sort of book, but I feel really good about it. And, you can see it if you want. I'll put a link below. You can download it. It's free for a couple of days. I may actually make this perma-free later this week, but I ran a little, Amazon KDP promotion where I'm just giving it away for the next 3 or 4 days. I think it's 5 days actually. So, you can download it and you can check it out if you're interested. And I'll be giving this away as part of our tiny book about a publishing platform as well in 2025, a printed version to folks who, want one, and, I'll sign it or whatever as we build out all these other sort of, hopefully appealing incentives to authors who want to write books for building their brand, their business, and their bank account. And again, the last thing I'll say is, a book like this, an essay style book, or a deep thoughts sort of book, or, what I often call a diva diary sort of book, because I know a lot of people, and that's sort of a pejorative, but I know a lot of people in our immediate orbit, especially folks who are in the sort of spiritual publishing space, which is, a good percentage of the people that we're targeting in 2025. They have this sense that everything that comes out of their minds or mouths is some sort of like really deep and, like it needs to be shared with the world because it's so important, or it's urgent, or that they have this unique insight. So I kind of tried not to make this book like that. Like I kind of like don't appreciate or prefer those sorts of books when I read them. And I'm kind of telling people try not to do that. So, I had to like walk this fine line of actually not trying to do that myself, in the service of being consistent with what I'm advising others. Anyway, you can check it out if you want, but the bottom line is create some tiny books for your clients. Use Vellum. Vellum is a fantastic piece of software that you buy once and it lives forever on your computer. It's Mac only, but it's a fantastic value, and I really recommend it. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. As always, I appreciate you listening, and have a wonderful day.